USA, the land of opportunities. If you are a tennis player, there are plenty of chances to become a legend because there are so many tennis tournaments here. So let's start with the Masters 1000s, the crown jewels of the American calendar, the Sunshine Double. The name explains itself, California and Florida, but they couldn't be more different. One is in a desert and one is in a parking lot. Let's start with the one in a desert, Indian Wells. Wait, where? You probably heard of the Coachella Valley, right? Well, Indian Wells is a village for the ultra-rich inside the valley in Southern California. It's basically mansions, private clubs, and mountain views. Like bro, I look at the map and it's just sand, mountains, and suddenly, boom, $500 sunglasses, luxury cars, and people casually drinking bottled water that costs more than champagne. 2 weeks of rent during the tournament will be at least 6,000 USD. 6 grand! Man, for that money, I would expect a personal maid and someone hand-feeding me breakfast every morning. But for many people, this is absolutely worth it. The Indian Wells main stadium is the second largest permanent tennis stadium in the world and is the highest attending tennis event outside of the 4 Grand Slams. In 2024, the tournament generated an estimated $852 million in economic impact for the Coachella Valley region, also attracting high-end sponsors like Rolex, Emirates, and BMW. Now let's go to the parking lot in Miami. The difference is night and day. I'm not joking because this tournament is literally in a parking lot. It wasn't always here though, but who knows why a couple years ago, someone just decided to move it to Hard Rock Stadium. It's an American football stadium hosting tennis. That's like hosting a chess tournament in a nightclub. They cut the stadium in half, then half again, and squeeze everybody into one little corner like it's economy class on a budget airline. I'm looking at you, Ryanair. The tennis stadium has a capacity of 14,000, but when the stadium is used for an NFL football game, the actual capacity is 65,000, and that's only the main court. What about the outside courts? Yeah, let's straight up just put them in the parking lot. Basically, one of the biggest tennis tournaments in the world is happening. You have Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz training next to parking spot B17. Imagine hitting a serve, and in the background, there's just a Honda Civic. And Miami just rains and thunderstorms. And get this, 65,000 seater stadium doesn't even have a roof. So pretty much every match, there's some sort of rain delay. Remember the 2025 final between Novak Djokovic and Jakub Mensik? Bros were ready for battle, but it was pouring rain. Everyone had to hide under a small roof, waiting for the rain to stop like kids at middle school recess. Meanwhile, you got tournaments like Madrid and Rome looking all elegant, historic, and beautiful. And then Miami's like, yeah, we got like asphalt and rain. Now let's talk about the random smaller tournaments like the 500s and the 250s in Washington, Dallas, Cleveland, and many more. These NPC tournaments take place all over the tennis season and there's so many of them. It feels someone just clicked generate random event and boom, WTA 250, boom, ATP 500. Well, except Charleston, a WTA 500 tournament that actually feels like it's in Europe, with passionate fans who fill the stadiums. The Charleston Open feels significant because the city has been tied to tennis for decades, where tennis is part of the local culture. The tournament is also one of the oldest women's-only professional tournaments in the US, dating back to the 1970s, and the first women's event to offer $100,000 prize money. Today, this number has rose up to $2.5 million. Charleston really is a trailblazer. Additionally, they even got green clay. Now let's talk about the Cincinnati Masters. This tournament is the definition of a tryhard. It wants to be a Grand Slam so bad, and don't get me wrong, it kinda is like a mini Grand Slam, with its modern upgrades in recent years. In 2025, it went through a $260 million campus transformation. It now has 5 permanent stadiums on site. But then you look around and man, it's in Ohio. Now saving the best for last is the US Open, the biggest tennis tournament in the US and one of the most important ones in the world. Compare the US Open to the traditions of Wimbledon, this one feels extremely commercialized. Brand logos everywhere in the stadiums. Yeah, it's flashy, but that's the beauty of American sports culture. US Open is a pioneer in many aspects of modern tennis. Can you imagine they were the first to introduce the tiebreak in tennis, changing the sport forever? It's New York City, we want the noise. Matches go until 2 a.m. on Arthur Ashe like it's a rock concert. You're chasing players for autographs with your giant tennis balls during Fan Week. It's not just a sporting event, it's a 2-week party that proves American sports culture is built different.